Hi guys, welcome to the Lee Valley and Engage. I'm Stu. This is what we've managed to do so far this month. It's been a bit of a short month due to the fact I've been away, but I've just been building some more onto the canal path and also the bridge abutments as well. There's been a few different trials and tribulations along the way, so let's have a look at see how it's all gone, and hopefully we've all learned something from this month's video. So let's go and do it. Okay, so this is where we start from the last video. Since the last video, I've managed to file down, fill and file out all of these holes, which had all the screw holes and the nails in. So that's been done, which is pretty good. Also, what I've managed to do is also finish off the varnishing. So I've managed to put a matte varnish onto the road and also onto the stone sides of the canal. So that's pretty good as well, and that's all ready to go. So let's have a little look at let's have a think about what also we need to get done to accomplish to start laying track on this. So the bridge itself needs to be finished, and then this needs to be fixed into this surface. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. But what we also need to do is we need to seal these boards. So that's going to be a PVA and water mix that I will put on it fairly shortly. Also, we need to finish off the river, and also we need to finish off the towpath. Two other things need to be done, and then we can start track laying. These really need to be done before the bridge is finished and installed. So that's what we're going to do. Also, we're going to got to put in the walls, the retaining walls for the bridge abutments here and here, and both the sides as well. I'm going to make these slightly longer than actually they need to be, so that I can pull the embankment down them at an angle and cover over the brickwork. So that's going to be quite good to do. So the first thing we're going to have to do, I plan to do is, after taking the bridge out, is we're going to focus on this towpath. That is going to be done with, to make it look like gravel, is I've managed to find deep in a box of scenic stuff is some ash. So that is what I'm going to put on there. I'm thinking of painting on some PVA glue and then just sprinkling it on top. Another thing I'm thinking of doing is adding some grass on the very edge on both sides to make a nice little verge or something like that, if that's what it's called. A fence will be added as well at some point. One thing I've noticed actually is the underneath the bridges, it seems to be almost paved area. Now, don't really want to have to go through the whole thing again of paving it. So, excuse me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just use the gravel of the path. So the ash is just going to be directly underneath the bridge, and that's the main thing. So that's what we're going to do there. So I think what we can do now is I'm just going to pull this board away from the wall a bit. I'm going to put some tape or something on this edge just to try and stop everything falling down the back. And on this edge as well, definitely do this edge, because otherwise it's going to end up on the carpet and that's not going to be good at all. So that's what I'm going to do now. And we're going to start work on this footpath. Okay, so I'm sorry for not actually being able to show as much of that as I wanted to of me doing this, but as you probably saw on that clip, I had a few slight problems with the glue when I first started putting it on, mainly in this section up here. So I've managed to put it all on. It seems as if it has pulled I don't know if you can see it here. It's pulled some of the ash away from the front edge. This isn't too bad because I was thinking of putting a verge or sort of some grass on this edge anyway. It might be an issue here because this is underneath the bridge. It's also an issue on the canal because the glue leaked onto the actual canal bed itself. So yeah, pretty much I'm not happy with this. But right now there isn't really anything I can do. I'm just going to have to let it dry, and yeah, we're just going to have to see what it looks like when we come back to this. It's an evening now, so sort of 8:10 in the evening when I'm filming this. So yeah, I'm just going to have to come back to this tomorrow and see what it looks like. So yeah, we shall see what it looks like in the morning. The only thing I can guess as to why it might have gone wrong is one, the glue wasn't wet enough. There wasn't enough water in there. Possibly not enough washing up liquid as well because it was making really big globules. It's the only word I can use really. And it wasn't sticking together. It was sticking. All the blobs were sticking together. So it was pulling. So it was actually there was a lot of surface tension in the bubbles, and it was pulling all the ash away from the edges and turning it into bigger lumps. I also really hope that I don't have to repaint all of the river surface again. Maybe on second thoughts, I should have painted this after doing this stage. So yeah, I'm just a little bit deflated and annoyed at that, as you would probably expect. I thought that was going to come out better than it did. This is the same technique used for ballasting. So yeah, that is annoying, to say the least. But yeah, I can't really do much of it now until it dries. I've managed to try and clean up as much of it as I can off of the canal and also off the road. But yeah, basically I can't. Yeah, I just can't do any more until the morning, and well, not even the morning, until the tomorrow afternoon, until it's gone off. And yeah, we'll just have to see what it looks like. I might be able to patch in some areas, add in bits with just some neat PVA glue. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see what it looks like in the morning. Okay, so it is now the following day. I've let this dry pretty thoroughly, and as you can see, it doesn't look too bad actually in places. Let's see if we can zoom in and show you. So it doesn't look too bad. I think that's roughly the sort of effect I want. I'm gonna paint this. Try and make sure that it doesn't all end up this sort of colour. There's in a few places where it's completely gone. So yeah, so that's going to have to be refilled. Mainly as this is in the section where the bridge is going to be, so it's roughly from sort of here to here-ish. Most of this stuff up here is okay. I can fill that in with the green verge, really. But I'm not sure whether it needs a little bit of touching up just to make it better. I'm going to add a little bit of green on that side as well, just a very tiny amount. Biggest thing I really need to do is just try and fill in this whole area. So yeah, so it's not come out as bad as I thought it was going to. Great news about this as well is now this is completely rock solid, thanks to that glue, the glue mix. What I'm going to do though is I'm not going to be using that again. I'm just going to mix. I'm just going to put some straight PVA on there. Yeah, and then we'll just see what happens with that. It should be okay. It should work out quite fine. And then I'm going to have to do the old-fashioned pour some ash on and then tap it out and see what we get. And hopefully some of it sticks to the glue. Okay, so I've managed, I did the painted all the glue on and put some more ash onto this path. So you may notice there's a piece of tape there. Well, I literally have just recorded a whole section about how I was quite pleased with this and how I was happy with how it had all come up. And then started and was going to paint this grey colour, which is going to be this Tamiya paint. Literally, as I was prepping it, which was starting to put this on, prepping to paint it, I noticed that some of the ash was actually coming up here. I don't know if you can see this. So it's pretty much, I'm back to square one again with most of this. So what I've decided to do is that I've decided for the time being, because I really am starting to get annoyed and fed up that I haven't got the bridge in, and I really want to get this going. I'm going to have to change plans on this. So the plan is now, it's partly actually a good thing, really, this has happened. And this is one of the things actually I think about model railways, where sometimes we try something, it doesn't work, and then we find something actually that works is a bit better after we've tried that. What I managed to find is that underneath these bridge sections on the Lee Valley, they seem to pave the actual towpaths underneath the actual bridge. There's no greenery, there's nothing underneath it apart from stonework. So what I'm thinking of doing is that I've still got some leftover sections of the roadway that I put down. So what I'm thinking of doing is that, because really the only section that I need to actually get done before I put the bridge in is the section under the bridge. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get these sections of paving. Well, first of all, I'm going to scrape up all of this. This whole lot needs to come up. And then I'm going to glue down sections of paving underneath the bridge. Now, I'm not going to do it just underneath the bridge. There's going to be a little bit of overlap either side, just to make it look nice, make it look a little bit better. I'm going to leave possibly a tiny little gap at the back because I need to put a fence in. Actually, I might put that fence in before I put the bridge in. Not 100% sure on that, so I might have to have a rethink about that bit as well. But yeah, so that's the situation going forward. I am annoyed about it because this is almost 2 days worth of work that I'm just basically forgetting I'm going to have to remove now. But then at the same time, this is kind of things that happen sometimes on model railways, and when you're building layouts and you find something and you think, oh yeah, this is going to really work, and then you try it and it doesn't work. And yeah, that's just what happens. So what I'm going to do, scrape this up, get this so we can get all this away. I'm probably going to have to repaint some of the river now as well, which is also quite annoying. And then the next section we're going to have to try and do is, apart from the bridge, is these retaining walls and these bridge abutments, which also definitely need to be done before we can move forward with the actual bridge itself and install it. So yeah, that's basically the next section. That's basically what I'm going to do now, is scrape this up, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side of that. Okay, so we've managed to do that. that section is now down. I've put it the other way around just to make sure it look a little bit different. There's also a tiny little gap there, which I'm going to have to fill in. There it is. Yep, finally find it. I got to fill that in with some grass and stuff, but I don't particularly mind that. That's pretty okay to deal with. Just lining up the bridge now to where it should be. As you can see, got a little bit of the paving here, and we've got a little bit of the paving on this side as well. So that's pretty good. I think that's going to come out pretty well. I also, if you noticed, I rubbed the pencil on the edges, so try and take down the little cardboard edges on it. But yeah, that's mainly that done. The other bits I will scrape off at another time. Possibly even leave them there, maybe not. Don't know really. I'll have to have a think about what I'm going to do about these paths now. But that can be done at a later date. Main thing that also needs to be done with this now is I need to varnish this. So that's going to have to be done fairly soon. Definitely before the river is done. And definitely before I paint that as well again. So now the next thing we're going to do is these. Ooh, if I get the camera in the right place. These bridge abutments. These are going to be fairly straightforward to do. Actually, if I move the camera over here, it might be easier for you to see. So these are going to be fairly easy, straightforward to do. Basically, this is wood, obviously. I'm going to just stick onto this. So I've got two things I'm going to stick onto this. First of all is some plasticard. Fairly thin sheet, cut it to the right length, glue that on. Straightforward, nice and simple. This is going to be on 3 sides, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make them a little bit wider out, maybe come out to about here on the bridge, so that when I make a nice slope down on the embankment, that I get to cover it all nicely. So that's going to be quite good. So I get to do that. This one I might change a little bit, so it might come up a bit further. So yeah, so that's mainly for that one. And then on top of that, I'm going to put this. This is a Redux. Yeah, make sure I do it that way. Redux textured brick. This one is the engineering brick. These are actually as you can see, 1 to 160 scale. So this is the European version of N gauge, because British N gauge is 1 to 148. Why we have to do it slightly different to mainland Europe, no idea, and also to America, but there we go. It happens. So yeah, this is going to be then stuck. This is actually self-adhesive, so that's really, really cool. And really useful. So this is going to be then stuck onto the plasticard. I'm still trying to work out whether I should cut the plasticard out and stick it on. Maybe I will do that actually, and then cut this out and then stick that onto it first, and then put the plasticard on. It's probably the better way around of doing it actually. While I'm literally thinking as I'm saying it. So yeah, so that's what's going to go on there first. I'm going to get that on, and then as this needs to be varnished, this might be a good idea to varnish it as well. So then we can varnish all of this, and this side, just at the bottom of the camera as well. So yeah, so that's the next thing to do. Okay, so I've now done all the brickwork on this side, on this bridge abutment side. I didn't really show you how I was going to do that. I was thinking about time-lapsing it, but the thing is that I just wanted to make sure I got it done, got it right, especially after the chaos with the path. So yeah, so this is it, all ready to go. A couple of things that I noticed on this plastic. This side wasn't actually flat, as in like completely parallel to this. So this slightly concaves in, which is an issue. As you can see that it's now not really worked very well. The join actually between the 3 sections hasn't really worked very well on the corners. Everywhere else it looks fine. I'm sure if you think about it as well, I mean, that looks pretty good from what I can see of it. it probably will look better on the other side when I put the bridge in. But what I've mainly done as well is that this section is where the bridge is going to sit in, and this is actually stepped in. Now, quite often on these kind of bridges, they put a pad on the bridge ends to support the actual bridge, especially these ones, because there's no piers in the middle of the bridge. So what I'm thinking of doing is that I'm going to be cutting out some plasticard and I'm going to be gluing it to the top of this. I'm going to trim this down, by the way. Stick some more plasticard on it to make it and actually paint it up to look like concrete, which is very similar to what they would do. The issue that I have come across is, as you can probably see here, is this. We've got the white plasticard and then the actual textured sheet. This is actually quite a thick textured sheet. It's very easy to put down on the actual plasticard, and it works pretty well. I quite like using it, actually. But the thing I found is that because of these corners, I'm going to try to make these a bit more, put it on when I do this one, is to actually try and curve it round the ends of not sure whether the ends or the middle section of this one, but yeah, I'll show you that when I do it. So that's what I would like to try and do. Yeah, so that's basically the next thing that needs to be done. I need to do the other side. Overall, I think this has actually gone pretty well. I'm not 100% sure as to how much more of this I'm going to be able to show you on this update, because is when I want to try and get the video up. So hopefully I can actually, I'm definitely going to show you this. Whether we actually sort out the path or not, I don't know. Definitely not going to get the river done. This path, by the way, I've been thinking about it again, and I'm really not sure. I might actually do some tests, actually, with some of this wood. I've got some scrap pieces of this wood, and just experiment with the ash. I think I might have not got the full, when I put it all on, and then put the ballast mixture, the 50-50 glue and water mix, and then there's a few drops of washing up liquid. I did notice the surface tension was quite high when I did that, so it's probable that I didn't have enough washing up liquid in there, and also it didn't seem very runny either. I was using something that I had lying around for a while, so it's possible that some of the water might have evaporated from it. I'll dry it up, so it probably needed a bit more water on it, and maybe needs to be more watery next time. So that's something I might have another go at, but I'll definitely not be having a go. I'll definitely not be having to go at it until after I varnish this, because otherwise this is going to absorb all the water, shrivel up, and we'll be back to square one again. So right now, I think we're going to do this pier here. So we're going to, yeah, there we go. That's where it is. So we're going to do that one, and yeah, we'll move on, and yeah, hopefully that will be the last part of this update. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, so here's the plasticard. So we just need to measure it up onto this. Get rid of some of these bits out of the way, actually. A few bits of wood and stuff that's on there, which just get that away. So, fairly simple. Pop it on, make sure there's a little bit of overlap. I'm making sure there's quite a bit of overlap actually on each side this time. And then just get a pencil, and then simply, and I just realised I'm doing this the wrong way, which is good. Using the back one as a guide, just to draw a rough line. And now I'm going to use a ruler to make it a bit straighter, if I can find a flat surface, which is excellent. There's the ruler. So it's better when I was doing the other side, because I could actually use the other side as a bigger area. So I'm going to draw that out a bit. Now I'm just going to measure Let's go check the height of this, which I think was yeah, there we go. It doesn't matter if it's too high, because if it's too high, we can cut it down. So it's better to make it too high than too low, really. Okay, so the next thing to do after we've marked this up is to cut it out. So I'm just going to use these pair of scissors just to cut along the lines. Fairly straightforward. Everyone's done this before, really. Don't know why I find scissors easier to cut plastic card than a knife. Right, there it is. So let's have a look. It should be nice and straightforward. So there we go. We've got a little bit of overlap on each side, which isn't too bad. And we've got a nice little gap there. So that's pretty good. I think I might just trim it down very slightly on the edges. On one edge, I think I might just take a little bit more off. Get rid of that. Check it again. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm happy with that. Right. Just going to now recut the top of this. So we're just going to take a fraction off. To be perfectly honest, this is going to be covered by the bridge anyway, so it's not going to be massively visible either way. Even if it's very, very slightly short, it's not going to. So there we go. So that's what it should look like on there. Next thing we're going to do is the sheet itself. Now this is really good. Is that pretty much? Oh, look at that. That's pretty much exactly the right size I need. So that's really good. So I'm just going to snip that off. This is a really nice little sheet. The bond is this way. I thought it was that way actually, but it's not. So all we do is just cut through it again, just using a pair of scissors. And that's going to be used for the sides, because I've just realised I've cut the wrong way on the bond. Because we need to go this way, not that way. Right, so that was good, but at least we discovered that before we stuck it on. Just I realised that before we stuck it on. So what I have been doing with this is I've been using this as a template, very, very roughly. Matching up one side, making a mark there, making another mark there. And just simply drawing down the lines. The most boring way of teaching you people to suck eggs, really, because this is fairly straightforward stuff. It feels fairly straightforward anyway. Cut it, stick it, pin it, whatever. Okay, let's double check that I've got the right size. That's a little bit more on top. Okay, so it's going to come in slightly inside that. So about there-ish. Okay. So that's it nice and cut out. So they're the bits for the sides, which should be probably about the right amount. Funny enough. So here we are. Here it is here. So all we then need to do is just very, very simply, if I can get it to separate. So I don't know if you can see that there on, there's the camera. I'll just bring this up. It's just a very simple I don't know if you can see that, of how thick that is. That's quite a substantial section there. It's quite rubberized as well, which is quite nice. And then all we're going to do is just very simply match up one side, match up the other side. And just stick it down. That's it. And as you can see, sits on there quite nicely and looks pretty good. Might just need a little trim at the top, but then if I'm putting these sort of concrete edges on it anyway, might not need it anywho. So there we go. That's that. All nice and ready to go. And I won't bore you with the other sides, but we'll time lapse those and then glue them on. Okay, so that's done. As you can see, I managed to cut out the little slot on the top. There we go. I've just clamped these as well, just to let it dry. We'll see what it looks like. Hopefully it'll be okay in the morning. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. The corners, by the way, what I'm thinking of doing is that there is, I noticed on some of the bridges around the Broxbourne area, they have some sort of coping stones on the actual corner. They're sort of like sort of overlap, sort of several bricks thick. So I might try and replicate that or something similar to it, just to cover over the edges and just to make it a little bit more realistic. Hopefully I can insert a picture of what they look like during the edit for this. So if I have managed to do that, you'll see that. You see that now, and if not, then you won't. So yeah, hopefully that gives you some idea as to what these should look like. I'm going to keep thinking about the paths and have to work out them. Hopefully next time we'll actually see what we can do with the bridge. One thing I have discovered since doing these and building these walls is that I'm going to have to reduce the thickness of the actual bridge deck, because the ends of the girders at the moment slot in to the sides, when the fact is that I need them bang on this distance here, which I've measured exactly as the thickness of this distance here. So yeah, these are going to need to be thinned on the sides. I'm still not 100% sure as to which sides I'm using. I might use these ones here. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I really do want to try and get the track down on this board fairly soon, because I can't lay any more track until I have. The only other scenic features that need to be done on this is the path. I have actually realised that I need to get this path done before I put the river in. So I think the next stages of this is going to be to varnish these sides, which you won't see in the next video, and that one as well. I'll just do that and not record it because it's such a simple process. I possibly might do the cornerstones before I varnish them, so that'll probably be the next bit. I'll probably show you those as well in the next video, next update. Also, before the next update will come out, there will be the Model exhibit, the London Festival of Railway Modelling at Alexandra Palace. I will be going to that. I'm going to try and upload some videos from that, some of the layouts that are going to be there. Not just N-gauge, but any gauge, just some of the really good layouts. There's a few good N-gauge or 2mm fine scale layouts that are going to be there. So hopefully I'll get some good footage for that, and you'll see them, and I will upload them in pairs of the layouts, depending on how much footage I get of each layout. So yeah, so that's all that it's been on for this video. Thank you so much for if you're still watching. Thank you for sticking with me with this. It's been a bit of a journey. I guess it's been a bit of a learning curve, but then this is kind of what we have to do. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things go wrong, and then we can learn from them. And like this, it's actually worked out better because it means that it's actually more realistic. So yeah, so that's what's happened with this video. Hopefully next time things will go a little bit more smoothly. Hopefully I'll actually have done my tests on the ash, and we'll actually be able to work out, we'll actually have a decent footpath next time that you see this, the next video that comes out, me doing that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.